But what we're looking for really is people who've got some drive, some get up and go to them, and not just looking for people who send a CV and they've got to show something different on their CV, something that stands out, showing their enthusiasm and drive.
The most important thing for us is that we have to know what kind of added value a potential employee has for us as an organization, and how this person, obviously engaged, highly self-motivated and so on, flexible, with some technical knowledge, because we're a very technical company, can add any kind of a benefit to our business. And of course, they have to be a team player, because everybody does everything. We're a small unit with 10 people, and which means you have to really be flexible, because it could be you do something today that you didn't do yesterday, and tomorrow you're going to have to do something else. And this can range from all different kinds of tasks among a long list of them. So that means what can you add to us? How can you help us in manufacturing? How can you help us in the office? How can you help us in accounting, or wherever it may be? If you have any kind of added value, then that's what we're looking for.
Yeah, what we look for is an individual that can think about the value they're going to create to the organisation. They perhaps invested a bit of time understanding the business that they're making the application for. They haven't just sort of sent 100 out ad hoc. We'd rather have somebody who's kind of focused on trying to understand us as an organisation and know the size of our organisation. They might look at where we're focused, what's our strategy, where we're going, what's our culture. Do they fit with that culture? They've understood where our offices might be. They might understand the kind of change dynamics that are impacting our organisation, and they might be thinking, well, given that change, how do I fit into that? How can I demonstrate I'm going to add some value and support the strategy of that organisation? And I guess in terms of you're looking across the landscape of organisations you could apply for. COVID and Brexit will have impacted organisations in lots of different ways. Some very, very negatively. Businesses have been disrupted. Others have been positively impacted. So I would be looking for those organisations that have come out of this pandemic and the broader sort of change in the economy having done quite well. I talk to plenty of chief execs of organisations that have doubled the size of the business. And think about those nuances I talked about before that are impacting manufacturers. Maybe it's around recruiting somebody in my sort of role. It's around strategy and business development, or somebody who understands big data from the processes within the organisation.
Yeah. So would you agree, Stephen, that maybe a covering letter on a CV would definitely benefit somebody if they were applying for your business or sort of any company?
Absolutely. Make it specific and demonstrate that you've taken the time out to understand that organisation. Just find something that is in their latest news where you can just say, I noticed that your organisation has just won this award or has just gone into an international market. Demonstrate that you've really taken some interest, that you've been curious and gone the extra mile.
Yeah. So for you, Pam, how can people break into the industry to develop a career in manufacturing, in your experience?
Well, I mean, a lot of our senior management roles are actually from people who've joined the company in junior roles. And when we're looking for new people, I mean, even at the moment when we're looking new production and warehouse staff, what we essentially need is for people to have a willingness to learn a range of skills, be flexible. And also, you've got to remember, many manufacturing companies, we need to ensure we recruit the new talent who are going to become our managers of the future. So it's a case of, even if you're coming in at the bottom level, you'll get the training that you need, and it's up to you as an individual where you take your career. Really is. Okay.
Great, thank you for that, Pam. And Bill, why do you believe manufacturing makes for a good career? Having worked in the sector for many years? Well,
manufacturing, I think, has a really bright future in the UK. Obviously, Brexit has influenced this tremendously. We noticed, for example, at Ryan Taco, that due to some logistic challenges, as well as some supply chain problems, we are looking to source more and more in the UK in order to avoid any disturbances which may occur. And that means that I do expect strong growth in UK manufacturing industries. And I think that's a great opportunity for anybody who's looking for a career in manufacturing in the future.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, great. So we have a couple more minutes now before we head to the breakout room. So we'll just ask our panelists here today a couple more questions, and then we'll move to those breakout rooms so you guys can chat with them individually. So my next question I'd like to give to Glenn, if that's okay. So Glenn, what qualities does your business look for in particularly in their candidates?
Well, as I said earlier, we're looking for somebody who stands out and has a willingness to learn, which has been echoed by most of the panelists here this afternoon. Willingness to learn, show some drive to the employer. They have some enthusiasm, and you need to demonstrate that. As I think Stephen said, you need to have a look at looking at the website. You'll be surprised at how many people turn up to interviews that haven't even looked at your website. They've no idea what you do. Or I agree with the fact to tell them something. Tell the interviewer something about their company, which demonstrates that you've taken the time to learn something about them. You'll stand out a lot more from the crowd if you do that kind of thing. Write something down about yourself that will stand out. Something you've done maybe with previous employers that you've looked at, you've solved problems or helped them out in some way. You've to look at being flexible, particularly with smaller companies like ourselves. I think it's already been mentioned that you will be first of all doing one thing, but you might be asked to do something else, and you need to be flexible. You may find that you join a company and then move into a different department because you find something more that you like, or a different area that you like of the company than where you originally first started. So prepare to be flexible.
Yeah, definitely. And that's some great advice. And I suppose when you are flexible and you are, working across different departments, it's like you said earlier, you can figure out, where you fit, you can figure out what you like to do, what you're good at essentially. So some great advice there. Thank you, Glenn. And then just lastly, for Stephen, do you have any additional tips for when people go to interviews, and why do you believe manufacturing would make for a good career?
I think it's certainly to try and go back to that point, the culture, understanding the culture of the organisation you're going into, and seeing whether you think there'll be a good fit for you. So from a Clarion perspective, we're looking to recruit people that are team players and collegiate, and that we bring people that add to the culture that we've created, and culture is really, really important to us. It's too easy to recruit somebody quickly that undermines the culture. But in terms of the manufacturing sector and why it's a good sector, I think for individuals that are problem solving, I think manufacturing offers great opportunities for problem solving and to innovate. I guess the sector can make a difference. You think about some of the manufacturing companies that rose to the challenge on ventilators and PPE over the last 12 months. They're actually making a real difference, saving lives. And I guess I always think about the manufacturing sector having quite a strong international dynamic to it. So a lot of the manufacturers in the UK export, but often they're part of an international supply chain. So it could be that you start off in a job in Yorkshire, and as you develop through your career, you might have opportunities to go international. And I also think about the sector as one where there's an opportunity to work in teams and to collaborate. So if working as a team player is important to you, then there's potentially attractive and another attractive side to manufacturing.
Yeah, most definitely. And I think it's really, really important point that you make about the company culture and understanding that before that you even apply for a job. And, you know, all of our panelists here today have mentioned how manufacturing, you know, is not only a massive part of the economy, but also is moving forward. It's forward thinking, it's innovative. So you're definitely in the right place if you'd like to apply for a role in manufacturing. So we've just gone past 3 o'clock now. So my colleague Annetta on the call today, she will be putting you into different breakout rooms with our panelists. Our panelists will reintroduce themselves. They'll just repeat their name and who they are and what business they're in. And then they'll give you the opportunity to introduce yourselves and why you'd make for a good employee within manufacturing. So I'll let Annetta create the breakout rooms for you now. And I'll see you all back here at 3:30 when the session ends. So good luck in your breakout rooms. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. So I've got all the breakout rooms ready. So what you will have to do now is just follow the instructions on your screen. I will open all of the rooms. In the middle of your screen, you will see the square to join. Please join your room. After 7 minutes, I will be relocating our panelists to the different rooms, so you get the opportunity to speak and introduce yourself to every single one. So, as it has been mentioned, see you in half an hour.
Cool. Welcome back, everybody. Okay, so everyone's back in the room now, Annetta?
Just now, we're all back.
Right, okay, perfect. So hopefully you guys got some benefit from those networking rooms and built some rapport with our industry leaders here today. So now we're all back here. I just wanted to thank you all for joining us today, and especially to our panelists, Stephen, Pam, Glenn and Bill for joining us today. We do really appreciate your time and taking the time out to do this, to speak to the job seekers. So thank you very much. And in addition to that, just to thank all of the manufacturing members who have also joined to support the job seekers in their local area. One thing I wanted to mention before you guys pop off is that the Golden Banner competition is still running. So you have the opportunity to win a bottle of wine, a non-alcoholic choice if you don't drink wine, or a Moleskine smart book, which is a really cool smart book where you can transfer your notes from a notepad straight into your phone or your tablet. So all you need to do that is find the Golden Banner hidden amongst the stands at the Made Futures virtual exhibition, post it on socials with the hashtags #MadeFutures and hashtag 1K Jobs Challenge to be in for the chance of winning either that smart book, a bottle of wine, or a non-alcoholic choice. But again, thank you all for joining us today. If you do have any further questions for our panelists, then please head to the Made Futures virtual exhibition and have a chat with them on the stand. But other than that, it's just hit 3:32. So I'd like to say goodbye and thanks again for joining. Cheers. See ya.
I mean, a lot of our senior management roles are actually from people who've joined the company in junior roles. And when we're looking for new people, I mean, even at the moment when we're looking new production and warehouse staff, what we essentially need is for people to have a willingness to learn a range of skills, be flexible. And also, you've got to remember, many manufacturing companies, we need to ensure we recruit the new talent who are going to become our managers of the future. So it's a case of, you know, even if you're coming in at the bottom level, you'll get the training that you need, and it's up to you as an individual where you take your career. Really is.